most of them are made in China. And most of them are made in our factory. Yeah, I'm telling you. But why these luxury brands never tell you that? Because they are trying to pretend to be products of some sophisticated European countries like Italy or France.
Clips spread like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone knew the truth. 80% of Louis Vuitton's so-called European-crafted leather goods weren't made in France or Italy at all. They were being mass-produced in Chinese factories, slapped with a label, and shipped off to boutiques where they'd sell for thousands. The markup wasn't just high, it was highway robbery. But here's what really sent people into a frenzy.
Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton has many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it.
This wasn't some shady underground operation. These were Louis Vuitton's own suppliers, the same factories the brand had been working with for years. And now they were cutting out the middleman, offering identical bags directly to consumers for a fraction of the price.
The chip came out. A little over 1 square foot of vaqueta leather came out. 2 different finishes. The best vaqueta leathers in the market is $7, $8. At their level, let's give them $10. And you need 2 square foot. So $20 for the leather, $5 for the materials, inner linings, fabrics, authentication, chip, and $10 for the labor.
No fancy stores, no celebrity endorsements, just the same product minus the insane profit margin.
Hi, Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag. That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo.
The internet lost it. Comments flooded in. So we've been paying for a logo this whole time? LV played us all. And the most damning question of all, if China's making the bags, what exactly are we paying Louis Vuitton for?
Okay, so with all of the hype about the Chinese-made bags versus in-factory bags, so this is one on the go Louis Vuitton that I bought from DH Gate, and then I also bought it from the actual store.
The brand's carefully crafted image of exclusivity and heritage was crumbling in real time. Because this wasn't just about where the bags were made, it was about the lie they'd been selling for decades. The hand-stitched, artisanal luxury story? Gone. The romantic idea of French ateliers crafting each piece with care? Shattered.
You recognize this style, this bag? Of course you do. For the past more than 30 years, we have been the OEM factory for most of the luxury brands around the world. Gucci, Prada, Coach, Louis Vuitton, you name it. But for this, I am not proud because we were only making our wages. The profit margin for the people who are actually making the bags are very low.
And the worst part? Louis Vuitton couldn't even deny it. The receipts were all over TikTok. Factory workers showed the stitching, the materials, even the exact same hardware used on authentic LV bags. The only difference? No $3,000 price tag. But this was just the beginning.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Once people realized they'd been deceived, they didn't just get mad, they got even. And what happened next would send shockwaves through every luxury boutique on the planet. The moment that TikTok video went viral, Louis Vuitton stores worldwide became battlegrounds.
Deal less than 60 euros to make a handbag that it sells for nearly 3,000 euros. That's what Italian authorities found out when they raided factories making products for Dior and other fashion brands like
But this time, customers weren't lining up to buy, they were storming in to confront. Imagine this scene. Upscale shopping districts from Paris to New York, where LV boutiques are usually packed with wealthy shoppers sipping champagne while waiting to drop 5 figures on a handbag.
High-end stores like Louis Vuitton are particularly vulnerable. A sledgehammer was used to break into this Louis Vuitton in Beverly Hills.
Now, picture those same stores flooded with furious customers waving their phones in employees' faces, screens frozen on that damning factory footage. "Explain this," they demanded. "You told me this bag was made in France."
I am about to crash out.
Y'all would never catch me in nothing fake. No fake earrings, no fake bracelets, no fake shoes, nothing fake designer. It's gonna be a no.
Security footage from multiple locations showed the chaos. Well-dressed clients turning into detectives, flipping over their bags to inspect the made-in tags like they were searching for clues. Louis Vuitton's customer service lines collapsed under the weight of refund requests. Private client managers, who usually handled discreet purchases for billionaires, were now fielding calls from irate A-listers demanding answers. Rumor has it one celebrity lawyer threatened to sue unless LV personally burned the bag she'd purchased and sent her the ashes as proof. Meanwhile, TikTok tutorials teaching shoppers how to spot China-made luxury goods exploded overnight.
Now you know China made everything, but 90% of the websites they're telling you now is not even in English. Here are 3 better websites that actually work for you. For light industry and daily use, go to madeinchina.com. Founded in 1998, leading B2B portal, many well-established factories have opened stores on this platform.
I do feel people started to get tired of purchasing products and realize that we just bought too much and it didn't really make us happier.
A slowdown and a contraction in the global luxury market. About 50 million people either opted out or were forced out of the luxury market over the past 2 years.
Users compared stitching patterns, zipper codes, even the smell of leather. Apparently, French tanneries use a distinct chemical profile. The most damning? Side-by-side comparisons showing zero difference between a 15 factory direct bag and one bought in store for $3,000, except the receipt. But Louis Vuitton had another card to play. And their next move wouldn't calm the storm. It would pour gasoline on the fire. Louis Vuitton didn't just fumble their response. They set their reputation on fire and then tried to blow it out with a leaf blower. First came the official statement, a masterpiece of corporate delusion. Louis Vuitton maintains the highest standards of craftsmanship across all workshops worldwide. Translation? Yeah, we use Chinese factories, but trust us, they're fancy Chinese factories. By the time LV's CEO gave a disastrous Bloomberg interview claiming geographical origin is irrelevant to quality, the damage was irreversible.
The first time in '91 I arrived in Beijing, there was no car, only bicycles. And we were opening the first Louis Vuitton shop.
His attempt to sound philosophical just made him look like a con artist who got caught. But behind the scenes, something far darker was unfolding. Leaked court documents revealed something explosive. Several of LV's exclusive Chinese manufacturers had been running side hustles for years, producing authentic LV bags by day, then using the same materials, patterns, and craftsmen to pump out near-perfect counterfeits by night. These weren't the sloppy knockoffs sold on street corners. These were 1:1 replicas, indistinguishable from boutique purchases except for one detail. They didn't have LV's permission. One factory owner's deposition went viral. We followed every stitch specification. The only difference was whose name was on the paycheck. Translation? The counterfeits were often better made than the official products because workers weren't rushing to meet corporate deadlines.
You can continue to expose all of these retailers, nobody's going to care.
LV's legal team thought they had a slam dunk case, until factory lawyers dropped a nuclear truth bomb. Louis Vuitton had known about this for years. Internal emails showed LV executives discussing quality control issues at these factories as early as 2018, but refusing to cut ties because production costs were too cheap to walk away from. Even worse, some counterfeit operations were allegedly supplied by LV's own warehouses. A whistleblower testified that excess materials, leather, zippers, even date codes, were accidentally shipped to unauthorized workshops. When pressed, LV claimed it was theft. Skeptics called it plausible deniability, a way to maintain distance while still profiting from the underground market.
None of the brands these creators mention, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, especially Hermes, need to go to China for production. And here's why. Labels like Made in France and Made in Italy comes with strict restrictions. And brands at that level don't risk compromising that. It's just...
The scandal spread to Hermes when investigators discovered the same factories producing unauthorized Birkins using leftover crocodile skins from LV orders. A worker's leaked text summed it up. Same knife cuts, both brands' leather. Only difference is the stamp. Suddenly, the luxury world's most sacred rule, authenticity, looked like a marketing gimmick. In a twist nobody saw coming, collectors of high-end replicas began filing class action suits against LV, arguing, if the factories and materials are identical, how is their purchase fake? Why should LV have monopoly profits when they don't even control production? A meme perfectly captured the absurdity. You're telling me my fake bag was made in the same place by the same people as your real one? Sounds like you got scammed, not me.
Does anybody have the Louis Vuitton from China and a Louis Vuitton that they got at the designer store? Because I need to see a side-by-side. I have to know if there's any discrepancies or any differences, or is it the exact same thing? Because I'm starting to feel ripped. I got a closet full of this shit that I paid thousands for. And you're telling me it's all been made in China and I could have just gone straight to China and gotten this shit? It just can't be the same. It cannot be the same. And if it is, damn, we all got played. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us. Seriously, please don't tell me I got played. I refuse to believe that there's no difference.
I need you people to wake up and critically think and stop believing this shit that you see on TikTok.
It's so funny how gullible the people are, especially in a Chinese app.
Judges initially dismissed the cases, but the damage was done. Luxury's entire business model, inflating value through artificial scarcity, was exposed as a house of cards. When a factory owner live-streamed himself making 2 identical bags, then labeling one LV and one unbranded, the video got 28 million views. The caption? "You're paying $3,000 for this sticker." As legal fees piled up, LV made a desperate move. They sued TikTok to remove factory footage, claiming trade secrets. Platform responded by creating a #LVSecrets challenge. The Streisand effect went into overdrive. But the real shock came when Chinese authorities got involved, not to help LV but to protect their manufacturers. New laws were proposed classifying luxury branding as a non-essential markup, allowing factories to sell directly to consumers without fear of prosecution. Overnight, the power dynamic flipped. The factories held all the cards, they had the skills, the materials, and now the legal leverage. And Louis Vuitton? They were just a middleman with a fancy logo. And just when it seemed things couldn't get worse, Bernard Arnault's $9 billion Vanishing Act proved the financial world was already betting against them. The Louis Vuitton scandal was never just about one brand. It exposed luxury fashion's worst-kept secret. The entire industry has been lying about where and how your European luxury goods are actually made. For years, brands carefully cultivated images of French artisans hand-stitching leather in quaint Parisian ateliers, Italian master craftsmen painstakingly assembling shoes in Florence, Swiss watchmakers in Alpine workshops.
It's made in China. I can get that for $12. Go outside and touch grass. Some of you guys feel like this is your moment to shine and you can finally stick it to people that buy luxury goods without like even fact checking anything about any of this information that you're being fed from these factories or people with these TikTok videos which seemingly have false information, everything from pricing to the bags. Like, I just don't understand. A lot of these luxury brands own their own manufacturing and source products from farms that they own. Hermes owns its own tanneries and crocodile and alligator farms, has workshops in France, and most bags are made by a single artisan. So go ahead and buy your DHgate bag, whatever bag, and see how it holds up over the years. Trust me, Hermes is not
The reality? A vast network of Chinese megafactories producing up to 80% of components for so-called European-made luxury goods. Here's what they don't want you to know. A bag can be labeled made in France if just 51% of its value is added there. Most Italian leather goods are just final assembled there from Chinese parts. Luxury watches often just get Swiss movements inserted into Chinese-made cases. The same Chinese factories produce authentic luxury goods sold in boutiques, gray market identical items sold without logos, counterfeits with logos unauthorized. The only difference? Price tag and paperwork. Chinese factory workers train for years to master luxury techniques. Many European brand artisans are actually Chinese workers on temporary visas. The average French leather bag spends more time on a cargo ship than in a Paris workshop. Why this scandal changes everything? Luxury's entire business model relied on information asymmetry, keeping consumers in the dark about true production costs, actual manufacturing locations, real markup percentages. Now that TikTok and factory leaks have shattered that illusion, the industry faces an existential crisis. consumers are realizing they've been paying for 5% materials, 15% labor, 80% marketing and profit. Chinese manufacturers are now cutting out the middleman entirely, selling direct-to-consumer via TikTok and WeChat, offering unbranded luxury at 90% discounts, providing customization that surpasses brand offerings. As Guangzhou factory owner told, "We used to beg for Louis Vuitton contracts. Now they beg us not to sell to their customers directly. Cat's out of the bag, and it's wearing a perfect replica of 5,000 designer coats that cost $150 to make." The man who built the world's largest luxury empire is watching his life's work unravel in real time.
We are going to be successful. Since a few weeks the shop was open, we sell the most expensive products in a country where everybody was going by bicycle.
76, Bernard Arnault should be enjoying retirement. Instead, he's fighting the biggest crisis of his career, one that threatens to destroy everything he built. April May 2025 will go down in business history as the day luxury died, when LVMH shares plummeted 7% in a single trading session. The numbers were catastrophic. $9.2 billion wiped from Arnault's net worth before lunch. $28 billion in market value evaporated across luxury brands. 17 straight days of stock declines, the worst streak since 2008. The cause? A perfect storm. Chinese factory leaks exposing production truths. Viral videos of wealthy customers destroying LV products. Wall Street realizing the entire luxury markup model was a house of cards. Just 6 months ago, Arnault assured investors he'd remain CEO until at least 2030. Now, insiders say the board is pressuring him to step down immediately. The reasons are damning. Failed digital strategy. LV's attempt to pivot to NFTs and metaverse fashion backfired spectacularly. Their 10,000 digital handbags now trade for 17. Talent exodus. 3 creative directors quit in 2024, with one famously saying, "I didn't sign up to market $15 bags as masterpieces." Family drama. His children are reportedly fighting over who will inherit the sinking ship. LVMH's collapse is dragging down the entire sector. Hermès shares down 22% amid rumors of similar Chinese production. Kering, Gucci's parent company, lost its investment-grade credit rating. Richemont, Cartier's owner, is quietly selling off watch brands. Even more shocking, Chinese luxury stocks are soaring as investors bet on homegrown brands taking over. The ultimate humiliation came last week when Shine, yes, the fast fashion giant, launched a luxury sub-brand using the same factories as LVMH. Their tagline? Same quality, no lies, 90% less. Sold out in 7 minutes. As one hedge fund manager told Bloomberg, "We're witnessing the end of luxury as we knew it. The emperor has no clothes, and turns out they were made in China all along. The luxury apocalypse is here." What comes next will redefine wealth, status, and craftsmanship for the 21st century. Consumers aren't just angry, they're fundamentally rethinking what luxury even means. The old rules are dead. The country of origin scam is over. Gen Z buyers now proudly post made in China luxury hauls with captions like, "Got the quality without the colonial markup." Auction houses report nosediving prices for European-made vintage pieces as collectors doubt their provenance. And the rise of quiet luxury 2.0? Not just minimalism, a complete rejection of logos. Wealthy clients commission unbranded duplicates of designer items from the same factories. A new underground network of luxury whisperers connects billionaires directly to manufacturers. Let's talk about the TikTok effect. Factory tours get more views than fashion shows. The workers become influencers. One Guangzhou artisan gained 2M followers live streaming "How I Stitch Your $5,000 Bag in 22 Minutes." Desperate moves we're seeing. LV's Transparency Tour, a pathetic attempt to show craftsmanship that accidentally revealed Chinese workers in Paris studios. They claimed they were trainees. Gucci's blockchain authentication easily hacked by the same factories making the bags. Hermès $500,000 artisan visas, paying French workers to pretend they made Birkin bags full-time. The new players winning. The ghost brands. Anonymous manufacturers selling ultra-premium goods directly. No marketing, no stores, just Instagram DMs and crypto payments. The remixers. Custom workshops that take luxury items and improve them. One London atelier removes LV logos and replaces them with clients' family crests. Tech disruptors. AI stylists that algorithmically design better pieces than heritage houses. 3D printing startups undercutting handmade claims. The final irony? The very exclusivity luxury brands cultivated now works against them. Why buy a mass-produced limited edition when you can get truly one-of-a-kind? Why worship heritage when the heritage was fake? Why pay for a story when you know the truth? As one former LV Vic, very important client, told us while touring a Guangzhou factory, "This isn't the end of luxury. It's just the end of the scam." The revolution won't be televised, it'll be live-streamed from a Chinese workshop, sold via TikTok shop, and delivered to your door for 1/10 the price.